know that anytime Villa we bottle anytime that there's something coming down to the last game of the season. Just got to go back to the fact that it's like everyone was saying that we were a waste of a Champions League place. We would be absolutely annihilated. It just to do that to your club, like basically just sticking a finger up to them and say, "Look, this," and it's so unprofessional. It's so disrespectful.
So,
Third place Chelsea, second place Liverpool.
what's going on? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to One Way Football. Today I'm joined here with a lady who is a die-hard Villa fan. Her name is Reidy. Reidy, welcome to One Way Football and welcome to One Fan Talk. How you doing, Reidy? You okay?
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, I'm happy to be here. It's a good day.
Yeah, good, good. Um, Now I want to dive straight into it and talk about Villa because you know a lot more being a Villa fan than I do, and I don't really follow Villa a lot. I only know about the Martinez when he came from Arsenal to Villa kind of scenario.
And the
But
Emery
look,
one, sure.
yeah, yeah, and Emery, yeah, like doing a lot better at your club than he did at Arsenal. But um, out just talk about last season because I know you must have been a bit frustrated not getting that Champions League spot.
To be honest with you, I think I'm a bit more sort of rational and realistic than a lot of the Villa fan base. Like we got to UCL seasons before we probably should have done, if I'm honest. It was frustrating to miss out, but we weren't great in the league. We were pretty inconsistent, but we had great runs in the cups and the Champions League. So you kind of sort of weigh it up, don't you? And I'd rather be beating Bayern and PSG in the Champions League at home than losing,
Yeah,
losing
yeah,
a couple of games in the league.
it's just a bit of a weird one, isn't it? With the whole Newcastle and the final day when you played United. I'd like to get into that as well. What was your thoughts and what was going through your head in that final day?
It was inevitable that we weren't going to qualify. I know that anytime Villa we bottle anytime that there's something coming down to the last game of the season. We always bottle it. So I knew that we weren't going to qualify for it, but I was kind of accepting of it because we'd had such a good season. And in the Champions League, you can't buy that. So it was inevitable. It was disappointing. I was frustrated. But we just didn't play well enough over the course of the season. I don't think we played well enough to deserve that top five spot. So
Yeah, and now there's talk about like we touched on subjects about Martinez. He sounds like he might be leaving.
yeah, there's a lot of talk about it. I'll be really disappointed if he leaves to go to United because I think that's such a downgrade. I know obviously they're a massive club; they're much bigger than Villa historically, but if he leaves to go there, I think I'd be a little bit disappointed, and I think he's a bit disingenuous because he always said that he wanted to play Champions League football and hopefully win it with Villa, and now we're in and around that, and hopefully going to
Yeah,
continue that. If he was to go
yeah,
to United when they were relegation scrap last season, let's be honest, any other season they could have gone down. They were so poor. So
yeah.
I will be. I feel quite cheated if he goes there, to be honest, especially if we get Aaron Ramsdale because I mean that's being touted around, and I
That's
am
a
not.
weird one, isn't it? If you imagine you getting Adam Ramsdale and then
Uh,
getting all
so
these
like,
Arsenal goalkeepers, that is
yeah, well,
just
they sold Martinez, didn't they? And obviously, used sorry, and to keep Leno, and then you bought relegation Ramsdale for 10 million
yes.
more, 10 million more, and for like half the quality, and then he's got relegated twice. Like, I don't rate him at all, and it would be such a downgrade. I genuinely can't think of a worse keeper to sign in replace of Martinez.
Yeah. I mean, if there is one player that you would sell right now, who would it be and why?
Well, like a starting player because obviously I'm been in off Ross Barkley, then Donker, Leon Bailey. Um, Coutinho, we need to get rid of Coutinho because he's
Tino, yeah.
well, yeah, because he don't play for us at all. Does he? He's been lying here, there, and everywhere, and his
Yeah.
wages are problem. So yeah, if we're talking about a player that I'm still is still playing regular first team football, I'd sell Unana and get Douglas Luiz back because he's being sold by Juve, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Villa, I think it's a bit of a weird one because at the moment you are like you kind of statured yourself as that team that can go on and fight for bigger things. There's not really many spaces that you need to strengthen up on. I don't think because
Yeah,
you've kind of got that team that's gelled together a bit now.
we've got the good thing is like, whilst we didn't necessarily buy any like world class players, obviously because we can't attract them at Villa just at this stage. We did get some solid like Premier League proven bench players. Like you have Ross Barkley, he's playing Champions League. Like he can take a pen if he can't do anything else,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's that sort of senior experienced player, and he was actually quite good for us when he came off the bench. And then for me, when we signed Tielemans, I actually thought he was just going to be a squad player, but he's completely proven me wrong this season because I always knew that he was technically gifted, like really. But I thought
Where did
how he
Tielemans come from?
behaved.
He came from Leicester.
Yeah, yeah, he came from
Yeah,
Leicester, and
he wasn't that bad at Leicester though, was he?
no, he's always been an incredibly like he's so technically gifted, but I didn't like the way that he down tools when he was basically trying to force a move from Leicester. And it's like, yeah, I get it, but like you've still got to be. And I watched a lot of Leicester as it was, and I just didn't like the attitude, and I thought that attitude wasn't.
Yeah,
I just didn't think it would be right for the changing room for us, but it was never a doubt of his technical ability because he's incredible, like, and he's very good with a dead ball. But he was in the absence when we sold obviously Louise last season, who was my player of the season. Tielemans absolutely like mentality, everything, attitude. He was
yeah.
incredible. But then he's now come out in the press saying he's not against the move, which I is a bit of that attitude issue that I have. Like I just don't think you should be saying anything until you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, there was also talks about, I know being an Arsenal fan, I've heard it going to Plan C with Ollie Watkins. Would that be a massive loss to Villa?
for me, no. I've everyone when I discussed
How
this,
old
everyone
is he now? Is he like 32
20.
or?
He's coming up 29.
Oh, he's
Or
only
yeah,
29. Oh, so he's still at like
yeah,
a good age then.
yeah. I think he's 29. Maybe August, September. So yeah, he is a good age. But people always say it's sour grapes for me when I say this. He's been incredible for us. Like he honestly has been a workhorse. He's great. He's a complete off the ball. Like he creates his own service. He tracks back. Like he doesn't just if he's not getting service, he doesn't just sit there. Like he is an incredibly like hard working player, and he's a really nice fella as well, and he's been so
Yeah,
amazing. But I don't think at 29 I would cash in on him because he had that season where he was absolutely outstanding. But he's that was a rogue season. He's never doing that
yeah,
again. And for Arsenal, he, in my opinion, is not that striker that you need to be
yeah,
elevated to.
yeah. I mean, when players go to different like clubs and they make a move, it sometimes they change for the better, and sometimes it just completely flops for the worse.
Yeah.
Um, like even like just talking about like the Sterling scenario, and I can't. It's awful, isn't it? In the past, like Arsenal, as an Arsenal fan, I've seen it so many times with you get your expectations up so high, and then as soon as they get to the club, it's just not completely what you've seen it at their previous club. But with Ollie
Yeah.
Watkins, I think he still has the firepower there to be like one of the greatest strikers, in the league. It's just choosing that right club, maybe.
To be honest with you, I think if you're going to accept 15 goals a season or like 15 goal contributions,
Yeah, it's slow, in it?
happy days. You can. He is a great player, and I'm not dissing him in any way because you think about he has. I don't think he's a player that's going to be.
How
You know,
much would you put? How much of a price tag would you put on him?
I mean, we're not going to sell him for any less than 60, 70
I
because
mean, that's
we have.
still good considering like what you've just stated of
Yeah,
having
yeah,
a
no, no,
player
because
is.
we need to replace him. Do you know what I mean? And we don't have
Yeah,
to sell because
yeah,
uh, Martinez is looking to be sold over him, which I'm not keen on. As much as I've never rated Martinez as highly as everyone else has, like in the
yeah,
world sort of class. But obviously we sold our backup keeper, own goal Olsen, and he was
yeah,
horrific anyway. But then like we've got no keepers, and like and
yeah,
Martinez is clutch, and he's got that big game like mentality, and he turns up.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think replacing him is going to be easy.
Yeah. And so, like, are we on the verge of like seeing something special under Unai Emery? Do you think
On the
we can?
verge, on the verge. You want to laugh? He's done we was in relegation spot and he got us up to fucking oh sorry, European
Yeah. So I
spot.
mean, like, I get what you mean. Yeah, but I mean, like, as in,
We got to
are
the
we
quarterfinals
expecting
of
to
the
see
Champions
again
League,
something?
bruv. We beat
Well,
PSG
yeah,
on
no.
Bayern
I mean, like,
on
win
the
silverware.
verge.
We-
Look, I don't know. Are you on the verge of winning any silverware with yours?
all right, yes, okay, all right. You had to go there,
Well, I think if
yeah.
you're you sacked Emery because he wasn't a proven winner and he couldn't win you anything, and then all I'm saying is that you haven't won anything
With
since
Unai
Emery's
Emery,
team.
it was a weird one for us because, like you say, he got us to the Europa League final. Obviously, we didn't win that, and it was
I know, but you won the FA Cup with his team, didn't you? Let's be honest.
yeah. Like, so I don't understand where they were going with this. I don't. Was it because of his broken language, like language? I don't
Um,
know.
do you know what he was at the time? He did get a lot of pretty
Yeah,
nasty, unacceptable press attention, which I think is
yeah.
horrific. But look, and I also think that it's a poison chalice. Like taking that job after Wenger, who's doing that? And
He came from PSG, didn't he? At the
yeah, he
time,
did. Yeah, he
yeah.
did. And
So it
he's
wasn't
won.
like he was established as a good manager anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
he's won league titles and silverware at every club other than Arsenal, and obviously
This is
Villa. But we're gonna.
and this is what I always say. This is the problem with the Premier League is that the expectations are so high when we get managers from foreign places and stuff like that and coming in. We expect them to do great. That's it. You have to be the
Straight
best.
off you off. Yeah.
You know.
You've just got I think it's all relative. Like the thing I have with the Emery issue is the disrespect from Arsenal fans because it's like, right, okay, it didn't work for you. I disagree
Yeah.
that he was as poor as the narrative is
Yeah.
because a lot because he wasn't he broke records for you. Like you had the
Yeah.
longest unbeaten you done since I think not the 90s. He was. And it just fell apart a bit. You have to he came in with a broken squad. Really, let's be honest.
Yeah. He did.
He got you some decent players in.
Yeah. No. Yeah. He did.
I think I
You
think he's
can't knock
under.
him for what he does because, like you say, you was fighting relegation before he came, and then he's turned it completely around for
Yeah,
you.
we went from I think we was yeah, we were 17th, maybe by a point or just on goal difference when Gerard left us. And let's not talk about him. And he took us up to seventh in half a season, with one signing.
Yeah.
That's like no preseason, no one signing. Oh, well, two technically because we got Moreno, who was incredible for us,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
John
He was.
Van.
Yeah. John
Um,
Pan. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
so but then so he started with us in November and we got them in January. So to do that in half a season, and that league was competitive. It wasn't like it was easy. It was just incredible. So I think you've just got to bear in mind that. Obviously, I
And
want
I
to
think,
win.
like you say, getting to the was it the quarterfinals you got to with
But Champions
PSG?
League, yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
we beat them. We
that
beat them in the
PSG
second leg.
game, yeah, that PSG, I just thought you was about to turn it around at some one point, and I was going, oh my god, here we go, we're going to see something special here.
Do you know what it was? The whole game for at the home, the second leg, I thought like incredible. It was a moral victory, right? I couldn't believe we got so far as we did, and to win against PSG and Bayern at home, like I didn't think I'd be seeing that in a lifetime. So I'm taking it. Do you know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah, it was absolutely incredible, and you could tell that even though the fans it was against you kind of thing with the scoreline and that you can see when you scored that goal, and then you go right, here we go,
Oh
it's coming back now.
yeah,
Um,
obviously the scenes. Do you know?
I
Just
think maybe if the fixtures were reversed, it would have been a different story. Maybe.
yeah. Do you know what the thing is? I you just got to go back to the fact that it's everyone was saying that we were a waste of a Champions League place. We would be absolutely annihilated.
Then
And
you got to the quarterfinals, which is
yeah,
what
look,
the likes of Arsenal and that have been doing for
yeah,
the last
look,
21 years.
Liverpool got knocked out before us. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
only you got further
They
from
got
coming
knocked
in.
out by PSG. So
Yeah,
like
so we got knocked out by the eventual winners. So do you know what I mean? I'm taking that. Like,
yeah. I mean, we all have to take that on the chin now. If we could have predicted the future that PSG were going to win that league, we'd have all gone, all right, then it's fair play. We've been kicked out by the champions. You just can't
that's
judge
it.
it.
I'd much
Um,
rather, and I said it at the time, play the biggest teams, the best teams, like and like managing like getting the win against Bayern 1-0, like when we won the Champions League. You know, you do
So I
like
know
it's just
there was six places in the league, weren't there, this season for Champions League? And
no
so
five.
you
Was it
just
five?
literally. So sorry, is it five?
It's
Is it
five,
now?
isn't it?
Is it five? Yeah, five.
Yeah,
You got sixth, did you, in the end? Sixth place.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're in Europa League. So at least you're
You,
still in Europe.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, look, to be honest with you, like, when I predicted a couple of seasons ago that we'd be in Europe, before Gerrard got sacked, everyone was. I said Conference League. I wasn't expecting it to be Champions League. Everyone's like absolutely rinsing me, and then obviously,
Getting a fucking nosebleed while you're up there, like.
yeah, do you know what I mean? So, and then when we got Champions League last, like obviously when we managed to get full class season, I was sitting there going, and I was like, don't get me wrong, like, it's incredible. I'm really excited for it, but I don't want to be absolutely humiliated and battered down. And
Yeah.
but I thought it
And
was
I
too
don't
soon
think it
enough.
was. It was a completely different story to that,
No, I mean
really.
100%, 100%. But I was sort of aiming for sort of more of a gradual way up. You know what I mean? We got
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely. I was taking Europa for a year or two, but like, yeah, honestly, we really equipped ourselves well, and I was so proud. Like, it was just an incredible season from that point of view.
yeah.
100%.
Good, good. I want to just quickly touch on as well. Everyone's seen the pictures of Garnacho in that Villa top.
Oh, I don't.
What's your thoughts on that one as well?
Oh, I just, like, it's absolutely unacceptable. I,
Do you think
it's,
but was you
it's
not a bit like, oh, okay then?
no,
Where's this
because
going?
it's just no, because well, obviously there's been talk of us being linked with him, but it just to do that to your club, like basically just sticking a finger up to him and say, look, this, and it's so unprofessional, it's so
So
disrespectful, and I don't
I
want.
was listening to Talksport. I listen to it every day,
Mm.
and the lads on there were saying, Jamie O'Hara was going, well, Rashford's his mate, isn't he? So I don't know.
Emiliano is a fraud, so he calls himself a Spurs boy, but only because you turfed him out. Like the guy's opinion on football is irrelevant. Would you have it? Do you think it's a
No, I wouldn't have it. No, yeah, you're completely right there. It's
like it shows a bad attitude, like and like it real like just disrespect to the fan base and the club, and I don't want that coming into my club. Do you know what I mean? I think
yeah, he's kind of dug himself a bit of a grave there, isn't he? Because
yeah.
he's like you put a good point out there is the fact that if he's doing that to them, what's it going to be like coming into your club? Yeah, and it's not the
And the
right
thing is,
attitude you need.
I've always rated him as a player. I think like I mean he's incredibly like he's still incredibly young, isn't he? I
Mm.
think you maybe you have to sort of curb the ego and the attitude a little bit, which sort of ego of Ronaldo levels. You know what I mean? With but he's got a potential there, but it's just the attitude. For me, I'm just like nah,
It's just not for you. Nah, yeah, I
no,
understand. Yeah.
not yeah, and yeah, not for me.
So,
I don't want
like
to.
next season, going back to Europe, so I've said this from the start, that I feel now with that Europa League, there's no excuse for no English team to get to that final. And do you think Villa are in that state and they can do that? Because we looked at
100.
Spurs and Man United doing it, and they were shocking.
The
That was a
two
poor
worst clubs
game.
in the Prem, really.
That was a
Yeah,
poor game. So I don't feel like there's any excuse now for any English team not to get to that English final, only because of the teams that don't drop down into it from the Champions League now.
yeah. To be honest, I with Emery and I help. I think
He's
there's
like one of
no
the
excuse.
kings, though, and he's the king of the
Yeah,
Europa League, isn't he?
yeah, he won it. Was it 4 or 5 times in a bounce? No, I think it might have been four with two
Yeah.
different. Honestly, like he knockout football, European football, like he is the master. Like the way he manages the club as well and manages the fixtures, like he's relentless. He's just I think we've got a very very good chance to get into the final, and like it's probably the best chance we've got of getting silverware next season. If I'm being honest, like
Do
I
you
am
know what?
expecting.
And I think it's possible. Like I say, every final that now comes every season. I feel like it should be at least one English team in that final now,
Yeah,
because
100%.
you look at some of the teams all right, Spurs said they had to play like Galatasaray and stuff
Galatasaray.
like that. All right, okay, but they're not the team they used to be. Like, that's it's.
Spurs, that's a club that's just like that's a losing mentality in it. Like you got to play against. That's all right. We'll try playing Bayern, try playing PSG, try playing Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean?
This is it. Well, this is why I said now that you're in the Champions League, Spurs, now you're gonna have a real test. It's not just like because you don't drop down anymore. You're knocked out and that's it. It's done. If you don't get that spot, it's over.
Yeah,
Um,
City.
well, yeah, this is it. Yeah, like exactly like that. Yeah. Um, but yeah, no, I feel like Villa, if it's all about the signings, isn't it? I think what you do in the transfer window really affects on your next season.
Yeah, I don't. The thing is that I'm genuinely clueless as to what's going to happen. I know obviously we've got to sell 30 million's worth before the 30th, so it is looking like one that's probably going to be Martinez, and you just deal with it, don't you? It is what it is. So we will see, but
Yeah.
I'm sure whatever we do, I trust Emery. He's the king. He's not signed a bad player for us yet, so.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually excited to see how Villa do next season because it's you've become one of them teams now where it's debatable that you should be in the top six every season now.
Yeah,
Because
I think it's I think it's we've overtaken Spurs as we rightly should.
yeah. Uh, Villa and I don't get this. Villa and Spurs last couple of seasons, you've had this kind of thing going on between years where it's always been a bit of a hate relationship now
It's
between
because they
Villa and
know
Spurs.
that we're in the actual big six and they're not, and it's a jealousy thing. That's what it
It's a
is.
jealousy thing, yeah, is that it, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. Like 100%. And the only thing that has now irritated me is that because they won the Europa
I mean,
League,
could
they
you
never
imagine if
won.
Villa do it again, like finish above Spurs and come out with a trophy as well?
Yeah, we have to because then we'll be on the same amount of trophies as them again.
Yeah, so
They're
that
ahead of
that
us
would
by one
be
lot.
that would be amazing. Yeah, that would be absolutely amazing.
A hundred
Um,
percent.
where do you think Villa are going to finish realistically next season?
Realistically, um, I wouldn't accept anything outside the top six, really, because we've not got the Champions League now, so the intensity of like the Europa League isn't as bad.
How
Um,
long has
but
Emery been at the club for?
oh, he came to us when we got set, so he was 2.5 seasons now,
It's been 2.5 seasons.
or is it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, he's obviously he's not had enough. He's not had enough time, really. I would say.
yeah. No, we'll give him Arteta time, and then we'll start whinging if we don't win
Yeah,
anything.
well, this is
Yeah,
it. We've got a better.
I'm
This
not
is how
hearing
the
this
Premier
from an
League
Arsenal
works now.
fan. I'm not having.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, this is how the Premier League works. Yeah, everyone has to base it off of how Arteta does. We have to
well,
if
if
he
you
does
sack
seven
him for
seasons,
Arteta, you
yeah,
can't come at
yeah.
me and tell me that we have to sack him if he doesn't win a trophy in less than 6 seasons.
Oh yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Let's just quickly do your top four. I want to hear your top four for next season and your bottom three. So let's go from fourth to top. So starting at fourth place.
Fourth place, Arsenal.
Okay.
Third,
So yeah.
third place, Chelsea. Second place, Liverpool. First, City.
Are you going for City to win? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're not going to take this trophy this season well, and it's yeah, Pep is going to.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. So you're actually the first fan I've had on here that said City to win. Everyone's gone Liverpool to win it.
It
But
pains me to say City, but I don't think Pep's going to take another season of poor
without
performances in the job.
yeah, he's gonna be raring to go and he's gonna want it. He's really gonna want it.
Oh, yeah,
I don't think it's going to be as
100%.
easy, like I said in every video, for Liverpool as it was last season. I think they're going to have a bit more of a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at, mind you, not that I think Trent's that much of a loss. Yeah, I think that they played really, really well, and it was very consistent. And I don't think everyone was saying that the standard of the season was poor. I don't think it was. I think everyone was just more competitive. But yeah, I don't see them winning another league.
Okay, and your bottom three then?
Um, if you've got to say Burnley are going straight back down, I'd like Sunderland to stay up, but I don't think they will. Leeds will stay
Is
up.
that just purely because of the to watch the derby like Newcastle Sunderland, or just?
No, no,
I think
I like Sunderland. Like they're a massive club historically, and I like the vibe of that stadium. I like to see clubs that ain't been up for proper established big clubs that were really successful ones coming back up and staying up like the
I'm the
Forest.
same. I love like newly promoted teams coming up. It's just more exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't want to see this like Southamptons and Oranges, Leicester's up and down every season. It's just like you're not good enough. Just stay down for a few seasons, rebuild.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I think Leeds are good enough to stay up. So I can't say Everton to go down because I like them too much. So I think Brentford are going to fall off massively. So they're probably Brentford will be down there.
We're gonna put Brentford. Well, now that because because they've lost Thomas now, and they
I
got and
know.
a couple of their players have like leaving.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's a good shout
I
that
think they're
actually
going to be
Brentford.
weak.
Yeah, because I actually I put Bournemouth down in the bottom three, but I got laughed at that. But I was like, yeah, but anything can
Yeah, but
happen.
then oh shit.
What's going on? We've lost Reidy for some reason. I don't know why. But look, listen, it was lovely to talk to Reidy. Don't forget to like and subscribe and to look out for more content. I don't actually know what happened then. She just got up and left. Maybe she needed a toilet. I don't know. Too much Aston Villa on the brain. I don't know what was going on there. But don't forget to like and subscribe the video if you haven't already for more content. And we shall see you very, very shortly. Take care, people. Thank you very much.